Inner work has held a convoluted meaning throughout my life. Realizing the ways the idea had been co-opted was an integral step in my own path to healing. During my time in Bible college, I felt I was forever standing at a crossroads, where I had to choose between my own experience and sense of inner ethics and the rules of the church. The two were often in conflict. For example, as a leader in the music ministry, I was once required to play God Bless America during a large weekend service. When I protested, I was told that if I refused, I would be placed on sabbatical. On a tour through Israel, I listened to our guide say unrepeatable things about the people of Palestine. And when I brought it up to a leader, I was urged not to rock the boat. I witnessed a close mentor express homophobic ideas, while I was quietly aware of and concealing my own queerness. I began to notice that I had been hiding behind my belief system, even as my doubts grew, to avoid taking actual accountability for my life. The metrics for assessing one's personal practice weren't based on the impacts we had in the world around us, or whether we were moving toward our personal goals. They depended on how we closely aligned with the institution of the church. Within this system, I always had something outside of myself that I could point to as justification for my behavior, even if it was problematic or harmful, or an easy out of repenting for my sins and moving forward with a clean slate. This is why it was so freeing and terrifying when I finally left the faith at 22. I no longer had to contort my ideals to fit the church, but I also had no convenient escape route if things went sideways. I had to start being responsible for my life. In this way, I believe my true inner work began as I left the church and started to peel back the layers of conditioning that had shaped my personality. I believe inner work is not just about addressing our personal shortcomings so we can heal or be happy. It is also about identifying and shedding whatever keeps us from aligning with ethics that support life. It is about identifying where we have been harmed, but also where we are the ones doing harm. On one hand, I had to let go of the self-loathing and sense of inadequacy that was enabled by the church. I had to look at my own internalized homophobia and other harmful beliefs. I began to unpack the extreme perfectionism, self-doubt, and fear of failure that had been driving my decisions. I deconstructed an embedded self-righteousness and became a more curious and accepting person. I quieted the fear of theistic surveillance and realized that not everything was so serious. For me, working with psychedelics feels starkly different from religion. They don't come with a prescribed belief system to measure my insights against. They rarely tell me what to do. They open me to a deeper, soulful level of being that responds to each question with another question. The medicines are so much more compassionate with me than I was prepared for. They hold a mirror up to me, and instead of berating me for my shortcomings, they say things like, "What if you aren't really broken?" And, "You've been carrying a lot more than you need to." And, "Hey, stop your fretting and look at that cool dragonfly." As grueling as inner work can be, it can also be deeply relieving and rewarding. And it will catch up to us eventually. So we might as well lean in.